Disclaimer. The information provided on this channel is for general knowledge and informational purposes only, and does not constitute professional advice. Always consult with a qualified professional for advice tailored to your specific situation. While I strive to provide accurate and up-to-date information, I cannot guarantee the completeness or accuracy of the content presented. I'm not responsible for any losses or damages that may result from the use of information found on this channel. This channel is for entertainment and educational purposes only. It does not endorse or promote any specific products, services, or individuals. Please note that this disclaimer is subject to change at any time without prior notice. Milk. The white gold or a white lie? Milk has become a hot topic in recent years. Some tout it as a nutritional powerhouse, vital for strong bones, while others claim it's a health hazard linked to cancer and premature death. But who's right? And why are we drinking it in the first place? Milk is the foundational food for mammals after birth, when our digestive systems are still immature and small. It's a superpowered fuel that kickstarts our bodies and helps us grow. It's packed with fat, vitamins, minerals, and lactose, the milk sugar. For a while after birth, it also carries antibodies and proteins that protect us from infections and regulate our immune systems. But it's a lot of work for mothers to produce. Eventually, humans stopped drinking mother's milk and transitioned to the diet of their parents. This was the norm for thousands of years. That is, until about 11,000 years ago, when our ancestors settled down in the first agricultural communities. This is when they domesticated the first dairy animals, goats, sheep, and cattle. They discovered that these animals could transform useless and abundant plants into nutritious and delicious food. This was a huge boon for survival, especially in challenging times. Groups with access to milk had a distinct evolutionary advantage. Natural selection favored communities who consumed a lot of milk, leading to genetic adaptations. This adaptation is linked to a specialized enzyme called lactase. Babies have high levels of lactase, enabling them to easily break down lactose and digest milk. However, as we age, our bodies produce less lactase. Globally, about 65% of the population lose this enzyme after infancy, making them unable to digest more than about 150 milliliters of milk per day. Lactose intolerance isn't evenly distributed around the world. In some East Asian communities, for instance, it affects up to 90% of the population, while Northern Europe and North America have the lowest rates. There are a few reasons for this uneven distribution. Random mutations that led to lactase persistence occurred independently in different populations. The shift from hunting and gathering to farming created selective pressure. Individuals who could digest lactose had a more diverse food supply, giving them an advantage. The migration of dairy farmers northward spread lactase persistence, likely displacing populations who didn't possess this trait. But if milk has been such a valuable part of our diet for thousands of years, why is it so controversial today? There are numerous claims about the negative and positive health effects of milk. The negative claims span a wide range from brittle bones and cancer to cardiovascular disease, intolerances, and allergies. So, how do these claims hold up? Some older studies found a correlation between milk consumption and an increased risk of breast, colon, and prostate cancer. But meta-analyses found no impact on cancer risk. In fact, the calcium in milk might even offer protection against colon cancer. However, it's unclear if this effect is specific to milk or applies to calcium in general. Only studies on prostate cancer showed a potential link between higher milk consumption, over 1.25 liters per day, and an increased risk. But again, the association is inconsistent, and other studies haven't found any effects. We'll dive deeper into these studies in our sources document. Overall, the research suggests that consuming 100 to 250 milliliters of milk daily doesn't pose a cancer risk. Similarly, meta-analyses couldn't find any evidence that milk or dairy products increase the risk of heart disease, stroke, or overall mortality. Some studies even suggest that high blood pressure might be less common among those who consume a lot of dairy, but the evidence isn't strong enough for a definitive conclusion. The situation becomes more complicated when we consider bones. Numerous studies have found neither positive nor negative effects of milk consumption for adults. Many people worry about harmful levels of pesticides, antibiotics, or hormones in milk. While hormones are present in milk, they exist in extremely low concentrations. To get the same amount of hormones as a birth control pill, you'd need to drink around 5,000 litres of milk. Even if you did, most hormones would be broken down by your digestive system before they could affect you. This is why many medications are coated to protect them from our digestion. As for pesticides and antibiotics, regulations in most parts of the world allow only harmless amounts. Milk exceeding these thresholds is prohibited from sale, so there's no particular reason to be concerned. Aside from allergies and lactose intolerance, the most well-known negative effects of milk are likely acne and general discomfort after consuming milk or dairy products. These effects are very real. For example, skimmed milk has been found to statistically increase acne rates by 24%. Milk allergies are particularly common among children, with 1 in 18 kids in Germany suffering from them. These allergies tend to improve or disappear as children grow older. So, is milk healthy? Milk, whether from mothers, cows, sheep, goats, or camels, is a nutrient-dense food. It contains all necessary macronutrients and many micronutrients. In regions where people struggle to obtain enough calories, milk can contribute to a healthy life and lower child mortality. For those in the developed world, milk is generally safe if you aren't allergic or intolerant. It's a good way for children to get significant amounts of calcium, and it's a good source of vitamin B12 and other B vitamins for vegetarians. However, this doesn't mean there aren't other options with similar benefits. You don't need to drink milk to be healthy. Milk is also definitely not a substitute for water. Milk is a powerhouse food, and the additional calories from regular consumption can contribute to weight gain. Flavored milk, particularly chocolate milk, is more comparable to beverages like lemonade than a healthy snack. There's another important consideration: the impact of milk production on the global climate. Around 33% of cropland is used to feed grazing animals, including dairy cattle. While the carbon footprint of dairy products has decreased since 1990, dairy production still accounts for 3% of all greenhouse gas emissions, even more than all airplanes combined. Milk is a massive industry, and sadly, most of its production in factory farms inflicts incredible suffering on animals. Cows are repeatedly impregnated, separated from their calves shortly after birth, and slaughtered once their bodies are no longer productive. We can't ignore that a significant portion of the milk we consume stems from an industry rooted in cruelty and contributing to climate change. What about plant-based milks? In terms of protein levels and nutritional value, only soy milk rivals cow's milk. Other alternatives require artificial enrichment to reach similar levels of vitamins and calcium, but they still offer a viable alternative to dairy milk. Another option might be available soon. Several startups have created non-animal milk that is nutritionally identical to dairy milk, for example, through fermentation by genetically modified bacteria. This lab-grown milk can even be turned into cheese, something plant-based alternatives struggle with due to the lack of casein and whey protein, the key ingredients responsible for the taste and texture of dairy. The environmental impact of lab-grown milk is a different story. Many milk alternatives use significantly less energy, land, and water to produce, resulting in a much lower environmental footprint compared to animal milk. When it comes to minimizing our impact on the planet, choosing regional milk alternatives is the best option. As with most complex topics, milk presents a multifaceted issue. It's not harmful for the majority of the population and is essential for many people around the world. It's a nutritious and valuable food, but also harmful to the planet and causes immense suffering. As a society, we need to decide how we want to address these realities.